Let's start with a reality that practice managers rarely discuss openly. Revenue is walking out the door, not because of poor patient care or intentional underbilling, but because claims are leaving your practice with errors. That money simply slides off the edge before it ever reaches the payer. This line graph tracks the increase in claim denials. The average reached 11.8%, up from 10.2%, with some practices hitting 30%. This graph collapses into a massive pie chart. 60% of denied claims are abandoned, turning temporary errors into permanent lost revenue. For a mid-sized practice generating $3 million annually, losing 5% of revenue to these coding leaks means that between $120,000 and $150,000 disappears every year. These errors are rarely a result of carelessness. Medical coding is an increasingly complex discipline where the rules are constantly moving. Every January brings a new set of CPT Advice CD10 code updates. Payer-specific modifier rules shift without notice, and clinical documentation from the provider doesn't always map cleanly to the strict logic required by the payer. This flowchart tracks the primary cause of claim failure. 42% of all denials stem purely from coding issues, where claims are diverted into a dead end because of missed specificity or incorrect modifier usage. The bottleneck for most independent practices is the lack of a dedicated, credentialed MITRE-F review between the chart and the claim. Internal billing staff are often forced to handle multiple functions at once, moving too quickly to catch these systemic patterns. When generalized staff are expected to defend a practice against highly specialized payer algorithms, high error rates and employee turnover are the predictable outcomes. To address this, industry best practices have shifted from post-payment audits to a pre-bill review. The goal is to catch the error at the point where it can still be fixed without a denial or an expensive appeal cycle. A daily pre-bill queue allows a practice to catch specificity mismatches and modifier flaws before the claim ever hits the payer's system. This function is most effective when it is independent of the billing team and executed by AAPC or AHIMA-credentialed coders who maintain rigorous annual competency standards. This bar chart breaks down the financial challenge of building that defense in-house. When you factor in taxes, benefits, and turnover, the fully loaded cost for a single credentialed auditor typically exceeds $70,000 per year. This creates a gap for most mid-sized practices. The need for a credentialed pre-bill defense is clear, but the cost of traditional in-house hiring often makes it unviable. Staffingly provides a different structure for this problem by assigning a dedicated team of credentialed specialists to work directly inside your existing EMR. These aren't generalists in a shared pool. They are dedicated seats that learn your specific workflow and payer mix, operating exactly like an in-house hire, but without the administrative overhead. This comparison shows the cost arbitrage of the model. Staffingly delivers the same certified audit function for $399 per week, bringing the annual cost for a seat down to approximately $20,000, a 70% reduction compared to in-house staffing. The integration timeline is 14 days. Access to the EMR is established within 48 hours, team training is completed in the first week, and daily quality reviews begin from day one. By removing the financial and operational barriers to auditing, the process becomes a high-return utility rather than a capital-heavy burden. This data funnel shows how Staffingly maintains precision at volume. AI-based routing identifies and directs high-risk items to the most experienced auditors first. The system is regulated by automated sampling. Supervisor review is an ongoing daily layer, ensuring consistent accuracy across every claim. Across thousands of claims, this workflow maintains error rates below 1%, providing a level of consistency that manual, unassisted teams rarely achieve. Combining human judgment with machine-assisted consistency allows a practice to outpace shifting payer rules and protect margins at scale. Practices no longer have to accept massive revenue leakage as an unavoidable cost of operation. Patient data security is managed through a complete compliance posture, including HIPAA, SOC 2 Type 2, ISO 27001, and HITRUST certifications. The pilot program provides a 14-day risk-free entry point with no long-term contracts, moving to a month-to-month agreement thereafter. Secure your earned revenue today. Visit staffingly.com/demo to initiate your pilot.